again, as I said, the most important news. Nintendo Switch pre-orders have been delayed. This is actually, I mean, just to continue, we were talking about Nintendo and its price, and I happened to be on the phone with a friend this morning when this announcement went out.
Yes.
Who works at Nintendo. And it was like, oh, I have to go. He didn't say what, just I got to go. Because no one knew. This is a thing that happened. Like, they literally were going to be accepting pre-orders imminently, but now not only do they not know, and this is by the way how tariffs work. They don't know what the tariff will be because again they're manufactured in China from Japanese parts and American chips. So
it's not just like, this is what's important to understand. The country tariffed, that is not the only cost the tariffs incur on them. It also affects every single part that passes through the United States to get to their first, or anything else that has that relationship beforehand down the line. That cost gets passed down eventually to the assemblage 100%. And sale of the Switch itself. So you might think, 30% tariff on Japan, hypothetically. That means my Switch is going to cost 30% more. No. And
it's actually worse than that. Because since China overnight upped their tariffs to match ours on them,
yes,
in theory, as Trump threatened, we have reciprocal tariffs. So we should be upping by the same amount because we're morons. So, but here's the challenge. Let's say there's a possibly 50% tariff on the Nintendo Switch when it comes in. The MSRP of $450 ain't fucking sticking. They're not going to eat a 50% tariff on something that traditionally game consoles have a tiny margin if they have one, and they usually are loss leaders. So having a 50%, $200 fucking tariff on every single Nintendo Switch, they have two problems. One, what the fuck price are they going to set this at? That's actually a really important question, because if that tariff goes up or down, right? This is where they start having to match it. If it goes up, they can't increase the price again once they start taking pre-orders. There's laws around this. There's a bunch of fucky things that it will demolish their business. Two, the price will determine what their through is, which means when you're talking about like COGS, cost of goods and everything, you talk about everything. You have a pipeline. You need to allocate capital to build these units. They've started manufacturing. So how many do they need to build for fall? At a $450 price point, they have guesses and they've set it up. At a $600 price point, the number ain't the fucking same.
Well, it's interesting because something that I was sort of wondering is if the extremely high price point, which seemed somewhat arbitrary, wasn't already attempting to provide a buffer for the increased costs due to the sanctions. But it also seems like, no, that's not the case now.
No, I think it's a safe bet. Yeah. We know how much Nintendo Switch, because they talk about this. Nintendo Switch is actually a profitable console. It's one of the few times. It's a new thing that's been happening recently.
Well, because it's a glorified cell phone, but yeah.
Well, that's not really how that works. But they make more than $0, whereas like the PS3, they would lose $50 to $100 a unit sometimes, depending on where it was sold. That setup doesn't mean that like it's a 40% markup over COGS in order to get to retail. Chances are with everything at a $450 price point, they're probably making $25 to $30 profit per unit, which is not a huge amount. These things, again, are intended to be loss leaders for software that is on them because that's the business model. So at that point, this is fucking crazy. This is crazy shit. Americans are going to see for the first time, I'm going to be trying to smuggle in game shit from other countries. Like, it would be worth it for me to drive to Canada, buy it with Canadian dollars. Well,
slow down, cowboy. It might not be unless you want to be held in a detention center with your Switch, too. Because one of the things that's happening
Nintendo is worth it.
Fair. A whole lot of, Canadians are just dipping over the border accidentally while they're driving.
Now we got a time where the Brooks or Sunday speaks longer.
We know the answer.
Yeah,
we know the answer.
Whoever is the baldest gets to speak the longest.
You win.
I do not.
All right.
What is the premise of the tariffs? The premise of the tariffs is to punish other countries for profiting from trading with the United States.
Yes, that is actually, well, again, the idea of tariffs work in a lot of different ways. The use of them for the Trump administration is clear. Their aim is to use them to offset tax cuts so that way they don't need to pass 60 votes in the House. That's literally the only reason they're doing this. And it was actually spoken out. I want to share a video. Make sure, let me know if you can't hear it. But this is Forbes, one of the wealthiest men in the world. Okay.
Yep.
And he is going to literally like spell it out. And he did this yesterday. This was yesterday. He just is going to spell this out, I think, cleanly.
And he said it was important to show how, my words, other nations really screw America, whether it's through tariffs, non-tariff barriers, and also currency depreciation, for him to illustrate that. But to hit back, for us to hit back via tariffs, this will be, in the short run, disruptive.
It will be, and the initial costs are roughly what he outlined today, $400 billion. We're still trying to get the details. He's already put on tariffs, raising about $150 billion. So you got revenues on paper coming in at $550, $600 billion. And some of those countries will be reducing their tariff rates. But I think this gives a spur to our friends in Congress. You've got $600 billion revenue raiser here. You have disruptions to supply chains, so raise it to $1 trillion. Add $1 trillion of extra tax cuts to the bills you have in the House and the Senate. You could get rid of the capital gains tax. You have massive cuts in the corporate tax and individual tax rates. Remember, and then get.
He's just saying it.
Yep.
They're not even hiding it.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna fuck all of you over. We're gonna make everything more expensive. Many of you will be homeless. Many of you will die. But we're doing this so that rich people don't have to pay taxes.
Literally saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Like, and he has no issue with it.
Nope.
It's one of the things, again, I miss the days of this where they're like Forbes, Buchanan, Republicans in general were very upfront about what they were trying to do. They weren't kind of confused dumb shits like most of what we've got today.
Yeah.
But he's very, very blunt.
Tell Congress, stop fooling around with the idea of raising the top income tax rate. They say that'll hit the rich. No, it hits small businesses and medium-sized businesses.
That's not true at all.
Which are so-called pass-through corporations. So if you're putting in these tariffs,
if the story tells himself to distract from the fact that he's going to hell.
I mean, yeah. But he's going to go to hell in a gilded goddamn coffin.
Not only a big, beautiful tax bill, but a big, beautiful tax bill on steroids. Double it, triple it.
On the tariff policy itself.
I appreciate that he's being honest about it, honestly. Like that's one of the things that
proper villain. I like it.
Because it's stunning.
Yeah.
And the wealthy are coming out and just being very upfront about all of this.
About their boundless capacity for evil, yeah.
About this, and then also saying things like, "Yeah, it's not going to be that big of a deal." If you don't mind, I've got a couple other clips that are. I mean, I know
Let's see them.
I don't find them I don't find them sad. I find these like, this is, as much as it is depressing, the reality is they're now just saying the things. Mm-hmm. And as they do this, there's enough people who are going to go, wait, what? Capital gains tax is the reason you're doing this? Like,
yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Hi,
a happy thought.
Oh, I don't have a happy thought, but I have a secret to tell you.
No, it's about a happy thought. Hello?